What's going on, guys? This is Ray Command, and recently Metal Jesus Rocks did a video on the GameCube HDMI 2.0. This is an HDMI adapter for the GameCube that is meant to replace the component cables that have gotten really pricey over the years. One problem is that the GC video itself is also pricey at about $100 and not easy to get. There are also some users that claim that this can fry your GameCube, while others, like Metal Jesus Rocks and various YouTubers, have no issues with it. Definitely do your research beforehand. I also found it slightly misleading to showcase this product straight from composite to HDMI without mentioning other options like S-Video or even the Wii. In this video, I'm going to try to help you make a more informed choice. Instead of just seeing composite and component, you're also going to see S-Video added into my comparison. Towards the end of the video, I'll also be showcasing the Wii to HDMI adapter, which can be found under 20 bucks. I'm going to go ahead and start with Soul Calibur 2, which is a great example to use because this is one of the few widescreen games available for the GameCube. As you can see, S-Video doesn't look bad. If your TV supports it, it's definitely a decent option to get because it's cheap. You can get a Nintendo branded cable for about $35. Look at the three things. Now in motion, sometimes it's going to be a little bit tougher to tell, although not always. But just in case you have a problem with the motion, I'm going to go ahead and add some stills. Let's take a look. Now, one great thing about doing the stills is that YouTube compression shouldn't have as much an effect on it, so you should get a much cleaner look at what you're actually getting on the screen. As you can see, S-Video is a significant leap from composite. I think it's the biggest jump altogether from one signal to the next. Component still looks great, especially in this case where it's 480p instead of 480i. In both S-Video and component, you can see a lot of the finer details that you normally couldn't see with composite that are normally blurred out. So if your TV supports it and your budget allows it and your TV has the input, it's definitely an option worth looking into. Looking at these, do you honestly see $70 to $250 worth of difference in the video quality? Of course, I can't make that decision for you, but this footage was all captured using the cheap Sabrent $50 adapter that does composite and S-Video. And I actually don't have a PAL GameCube. I believe the PAL GameCubes can do RGB SCART, which, although it's stuck at 480i, you still get a great picture with that. So that's definitely another choice for you guys. The component video was captured using a cheap component to HDMI adapter, and I tried to do very minimal editing to any of this footage. The only thing that I really did do was take the 16:9 video for the composite and S-Video because of the cheap adapter, and I compressed it right back down to 4:3 so you guys can get an exact copy of what you're supposed to be looking at on your actual TV once you switch to the correct settings. Now I'm going to go ahead and show you guys a few stills from the Mario Kart footage we just took, and you guys can decide for yourself if there was any significant difference. Now let's make a more fair comparison. Skies of Arcadia here runs at 480i, so you can see a direct, equal comparison between all three different cables. Honestly, to my eyes, in this particular comparison, S-Video and component are very close, as you'll see in the stills. There's still a little bit more detail in the component signal, but as you can see, S-Video is much brighter. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the Game Boy Advance player for the GameCube. As you'll see here, both S-Video and component are incredible leaps over composite. This is the opening sequence to Castlevania Area of Sorrow for the Game Boy Advance. As I transition over from composite to S-Video to component, you'll see a huge leap in quality over the original composite signal. The text and finer details get much sharper and you get much more vibrant colors. The extra detail and clarity provided by anything above composite really makes these older games a joy to play. I'll give you a couple of seconds to soak it all in. Now that we've gotten a clearer picture of composite to S-Video to component, I'm going to go ahead and add the Wii to HDMI video, and you're going to get a look and see how that compares to the other options. The Wii to HDMI adapter can be found for under $20 at the usual places like eBay and Amazon. The Wii may not be natively compatible with the Game Boy Advance player, but there are ways around that. For example, the Wii can easily be soft modded, and you can easily install RetroArch, which is an excellent multi-system emulator. Using King of Fighters EX2 as an example, I'm going to go ahead and transition from composite to S-Video to component to HDMI for the Wii. I didn't bother to tweak any of the settings to RetroArch because I wanted you guys to see how it would look natively, but the options are there and you can tweak the resolution to your liking. As expected, all options above composite were great. The best part was, on my TV, the lag was minimal. That's actually something I should have brought up earlier. It doesn't matter how good your cables and equipment are if your TV has a ton of lag. So just keep that in mind, that your mileage may vary. Here's all 4 options in motion so you can make your comparison. Now, of course, this will be followed by stills. Once again, I'll give you a couple of seconds to soak it all in. That little comparison there should have given you an idea how 2D looks with the Game Boy Advance adapter versus the Wii emulation with the HDMI adapter. For those of you that don't care about 2D, let's move on to 3D. I'm going to go ahead and show the footage that I showed earlier with Ivy, but I'm going to add the Wii HDMI to it. As you can see, it still looks excellent. Hopefully, as this video has shown, you can see for yourself that the low-cost solutions are fairly viable compared to the high-end solutions. A $20 to $30 adapter or cable doesn't look $200–300 worse than a high-end solution, in case some of you guys were wondering. Of course, the choice is ultimately up to you. Everyone has different budgets and preferences, and what's important for one person may be useless for the next. Hopefully this was useful for you though, and of course, check out the other stuff on my channel if you enjoyed this video. As always, don't forget to thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Take care, guys.